Thank you for joining us for another special installment from Brick Squared. Today we're looking at 31045 from the Creator set. It's the Ocean Explorer. Just like the last one that we did, this is a 3-in-1 model. So next time, some of the next times, we'll go ahead and do either the airplane or this deep sea sub, which is pretty much why I bought this. I mean, look at that sub. That's just, it looks really cool. So I'm excited to build that in the future. Alright, I got some important things with me. I got my brick tool, which I use to open my boxes now, just after the first stream. Of course, this one's not gonna cooperate. Of course, look at that thumb button, just works. Unlike my box last night, which is hermetically sealed to make sure that I didn't get into it. Along with my brick tool, I've got my beverage, which is always important for building. Let's see what we got in here. Many bags and books. Okay. Alright, so we have a book for the sub. Look at that. I'm excited. That's way cool. This plane. I think the plane's kind of neat. It reminds me of Tailspin. It's got that big look to it. And of course, the one we're focused on today, the actual ship with the little sub. All right, let's get into these. Now, as always, get the box, not the boxes, but the bags open. It's always another fun part, that opening a fresh bag. Fresh bag Legos. No. We could have waited for some of those, but alright. So now to Noel. This will just help us find all of our pieces a lot easier while we're building. I mean, the great thing is you can Noel however you want to. You can do it by color, you can do it by shape. Just whatever's easiest for you when you're looking through your bricks. Like, either you can just do all your flats together, you can do all your bigger bricks together. I personally like doing it by color because, to me, it just makes it a lot easier. I mean, I try and I do a little bit by size as well, so that way I keep my flats in one area, I keep my other bricks in another area. I think I'll just keep all my little pieces over here. Get my grays. This set looks like it's got a lot of white in it. More so than some of the other colors. Quite a bit of gray too. We are getting there, ish. Those are kind of cool pieces. I like these little textured ones too. Little textured white ones. Gray. I like this little dome. Makes me think of Mr. Freeze's helmet. I think that's probably what they might use it for in another, probably in the actual minifig. Get our blues. Some blue slopes. quite a bit of red as well. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the new multi-set models. I think that's really a win. You can have your main model and then just to have multiple other models in the same set. I mean, and to have the instructions for them as well. All right. First, we got a couple yellow pieces. We have this really cool hook. We're gonna use that later to pick up the sub that we're gonna build. What's cool is the boat has a retractable arm to pick up the little sub drone. And that's what the hook's gonna attach to. Get all of our dark gray pieces together. And our blacks. Oh, looks like we got a little pair of binoculars. There we go. Get some. Now we need is a little tiny sea captain to stand on the deck. I'll have to go buy some minifigures just for this eventually. Alright. So now I pretty much got everything separated out. I'm just going to leave the other small pile over to the side here. I'm not that concerned about those right now. Okay. Okay, looks like we're going to start with a drone, which is cool. So, we have a 1x2 and a 2x2 flat, and then we're going to use the little inverted Technic brick. And the blue friction pin to stud, which our wheel is going to attach to. Just like that. Okay, now we've got two of the light gray 90-degree angle pieces, so that way we can build off the side and on top. I think those are really cool pieces. Let's see, where do we go next? Alright, we're going to use another of the 90-degree. Alright. Let's see here. We are looking for a yellow 1x2. So, this is what we have so far. It's shaping up. Alright. Now we're going to use the Mr. Freeze dome. We're going to go up front. I'm sure that's for the light and the camera. Alright. Now, page 6, step number 7, we're going to build two of the little arms and get my pieces together. So we're going to have two of the black ball joints with friction pins and two of the little robot grabber arms. They kind of, you can see they look like this. They look like little robot hands. And then these pieces, these are pretty unique. They're like little ball joint junctions. I think those are used in the train sets to join the train pieces together. Alright, so let's build these. So we're going to insert the ball joint into that ball joint holder, and then we're going to put the little robot arms right there. Okay. We can put those vertically. And now I'm going to do the other for the opposite side. That's cool. I like how they move around. Give you a little bit of range of motion. So your robot's like doing some deep sea exploring, maybe getting minerals off or recovering, more or less, probably recovering pirate treasure, right? Maybe in the future we can do a pirate ship or a Ninjago ship. Alright, next we're going to have one of the 1x squares with a little stud off it, dark gray. Seen these used a lot for lights. You can put like a little blinker on there. Alright, and then this little yellow piece extends off the side. And guess what? You were going to put lights on that, just like I was mentioning. See, it seems like that's usually what it's used for. So we're going to have a red light on the side, and then a clear flashlight up front, little headlamp. So if that's where the light at, then that's probably where the camera's at for our deep sea exploration. So now we're going to turn over on the other side and do the same thing. So we've got our little piece here. Uh-oh. Looking at page number 8, you can see we've got our other yellow piece here. Oh, it looks like I need to move my light up front. Alright, and we're going to add a green light on this side and the clear light, flashlight, up front. So that's what we have so far. Gather my pieces for the next page 9. Let's see, we need these 2 roundish yellow pieces, a 2x3, and the little, it looks like a handle. Alright, so we're going to start by putting the 2x3 up one from the back, and then these pieces are going to round out the top. We're going to have a little bit of overlap over the front. And then finally, this little handhold part, which we're going to attach to the hook later on the ship and be able to lower our drone into the water. So it looks like the drone's completely done now. I like what it's looking like. It looks pretty good. I believe the yellow and blue, or the yellow and green lights are used all over, whether it be aerial or nautical, to basically tell other people what side of the craft is what. And we're also going to be using those same things when we get our ship built. So let's get started on the ship. We're going to have it's like a 4x4 plate. 4x4 white plate, and this is page 10, and a 2x4 red, and then with that we're using our long, I believe 2x8 plates, or 4x8 plates of red. Those are going to attach with 2 stud rows overlapping on the end, and just like so. All right, and the next thing on page 11, we're going to get our green flats ready. Looks like we're using all of our green flats. So continuing on from the white piece that we just put in, we're going to add 2 green flats. Okay, just like that. And then we're looking for our light gray 1x2 slopes. Okay, looks like I need to readjust something right here. This actually goes like that. Got a little ahead of myself. Alright, now we need to move our other flats back. Sometimes that happens. You know, you put it in, and then you realize when you're looking at instructions that it doesn't look quite right. I'm like, man, there's another space there for the next flat. Why isn't it lining up? Alright, so then we have our sloping pieces, little sloping gray pieces. Right there. And then our final green flat goes right in front of them. So I'm guessing this is probably like the deck of the ship where where our little drone's gonna sit. Okay, so now we've got a 2x3 yellow, and that's gonna come right underneath that green flat we just put in. And then we're gonna take 2 of these rounded red pieces, and we're going to form either side of the ship here. Like it's nice and round. Alright, and page 13, we are really starting to get into it now. There's quite a bit of build-up here. Alright, I'll get my little side knolling here together. We're going to have 2 of the gray 1x4 flats. We're going to have 2 of the light gray slopes. And we've got 2 of the very small gray 1x2 with a stud on the top. Where are those? Okay, we got those. Alright, so there's 6 pieces right there total, plus in the next stage we're going to use these vented gray pieces. They both have we'll take a look at this here. They've got vertical lines on one side, and they have horizontal lines on the other side. So it's a little something to keep in mind when we're building. Then we're going to next is use this little tacket piece with the plus in there, and then finally 2 blue 1x4s. All right. So we'll start with step 7 on page 13, and we'll get all of our flats in. Looks like we've got these gray slopes first. So we get the gray slopes, and then the flats are going to extend right off the edge of those. Like so. And then after that, we're going to be putting in these 1x2s, flats with a stud. Alright, so now step 8, they're having us put the little plus here on the yellow piece. Alright, and it looks like we're going to use the vertical lines of this textured brick, vertical lines out of the front, or probably the back in this case. And then from there, we're going to go spin it all the way around. And in the back here, we're going to attach these blue pieces to either side. Alright, look at that, we're starting to build up. Alright, next up, it's time for some more blue pieces. We're going to use these 1x1s and 2 more of these longer blue pieces. 1x4s, And then 2 of the inverted slopes. Alright. So, looks like we're going to have the inverted slopes are going to be up at the front of the rounded portion of the boat by the gray pieces, the textured gray ones that we just put in. Right there. And then right behind that we're going to place our 1x4s. And another 1x4 on this side. And then in that little gap we've got our 1x1s. Drop those in place. Alright. So, next layer we are going to start on is on page 15, step 10. We're going to have 4 of these blue 1x4s. And then we're going to have 4 of these little lantern looking gray 1x1s. These are really cool. I think they use these a lot for putting lights on as well, attaching just different things. You can attach like, let me see, like right here, like this little horn. Like you could attach that to there. You could put a little robot arm in there. You could use them for lights. You could use them for these little rocket engine type things. So it's just a nice little attachment point that you can use for a bunch of different things. So let's see, we have 4 of those. And then we're going to gather things for step 11 as well, since we're here. Step 11 is going to use a longer piece here, this 1x8. And then we're going to have the 2 dark gray 1x4s with a double flat in the center there. Alright, let's see where we're going here. So it looks like we're going to start from the front of the craft. We're going to go back and leave the very first stud, leave this very first stud open, right? And we're just putting this right back here. And then we'll go ahead and do that on the other side as well. So we've got that front stud open, the whole front line. Alright, and then the next thing is to put these gray little light holders right after that. And then we're going to do another 1x4 blue, and then another gray accessory holder right behind it, so it looks like that. We're going to match that up over here on this other side. So we get the gray 1x, the blue 1x4, and then the gray 1x. Alright, make sure everything's put together tight there. So the next step, what we're going to do is this gray piece goes along the entire front portion of the vehicle. Alright, and then these, make sure it's all tight there. It was almost. Alright, so these gray pieces, they're the 1x4 with a double flat, are going to bridge across the light gray slopes that we put in there earlier. Alright, so then we've got this right here. So far, looks like we got a little deck there. Alright, so page 16, we've got 2 of the little grates that we need to gather. Grates, it looks like we're doing light gray studs. So we've got the dark gray grates, we've got 2 light gray studs, and then 2 of these, the dark gray kind of slope studs. So because they've got a little slope, and then I got a single stud. So from the, what I'm going to call the front, this being, I think the front is, which is probably the back. We're going to put the 2 vents in, the 2 grates. So we got the two grates, and then from there we're going to take the slope stud, and we're going to put the slopes in with a stud out to the outside. Just like that. Slope in, stud to the outside. And then we're going to put our single studs right there next to the slopes to build that up so we have the same height for all of our studs from front to back. Which it looks like is going to be very important for the next step. So for step 13, which is on page 17, we are going to gather our little pieces that we need for the next section. We're looking at 1x4 gray flats. We need 4 of those, the 1x4 gray flat. And we need 2 of these little, I don't know, they look like bullhorns to me. Like, so these 2 little horns or nozzles, they could be nozzles. That's the great thing about Legos, like there's so much imagination. It could be or I just don't know enough about boats. They could actually have another name or purpose in the nautical world. Okay, so we have all of our stuff gathered for our next 2 steps that are on page 17. We are going to start with the gray flats. The gray 1x4 flats go up front, all the way to the front of the vehicle. And so from front to back, and we're going to put 2 of those in. Alright. And then we've got our little nozzle horn pieces. I'm not sure what they are. I mean, if this were a sailboat, I would think it would be for like tying the rigging too. Like that would make sense. Like you would use those to tie the ropes that are used to lower and raise the sails. But that's not the type of boat that this is, so I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. Alright, and then we got those little slopes in the back. So far, this is where we're at. It's starting to shape up. Still don't see quite a boat yet, but I like it. I like where we're going. Alright. So next, we're getting some pieces with some height on it now. We got these 2 slopes. And we've got these 2, I'm not sure what they are. They're like little half walls. And these are going to go on the inside here, next to this white 4x4 there. Let's see how we need to do this. It looks like the slope part is going to come into the boat, like so. So slope's facing front, or what I'm considering front at the moment. Alright, and let's get our second one in there. Okay, so there's that. And now we're going to put these pieces in. And these pieces, the flat part goes towards the back. So that we've got this open kind of compartment. You can see the open piece on the inside. Now I'm going to put the other piece right there. Alright. So, page 19, we're going to gather our parts again. So we've got 4 of these one square accessory holders. And we're going to attach those to the white back plate here. It looks like we're going to have the ones that are on the inside. The ones on the inside are going to be facing out. The ones that are on the back are going to have their accessory port facing out. So that's just something to keep in mind for this little portion right here. You know, it's probably easier if I would have just put this one on the inside first. Just like I did on the other side and this one on the back. I guess it really depends on how big your hands are, because maybe if you got smaller hands, it would be easier for that. Okay. So next we're looking for a 2 by 4, 2 by 4 red, 2 by 4 white, and we're going to sandwich those with the white on top, and then that is going to bridge this gap here between those two 1 by 1 accessory ports. All right, and we're going to now grab 4 more of those gray accessory ports to build the next layer. And we're going to build the next layer in the exact same way. So we've got 2 of them facing outward, to the left and to the right, or starboard and port, which I'm still not sure which one's which. I always get them confused. And then these ones are going to face to the back. So with this piece, I'm really having to hold down on the center white plate there, right? Because as I was pushing these in, like it was actually starting to detach the plate from the bottom here. If there were another piece that were bridging this right here, it would help stop that. But then it obviously wouldn't fit flush on the table surface if we didn't then put one up here or something. So, all right. So that's step 18, which is on page 21. We've got that done. So we've got a couple different ports back there. Now we're looking for our only long white piece there, the 1 by, or was it 2 by 6, and a gray plate. Looks like the white piece is going to bridge these pieces right here. Okay, so that white brick comes back to bridge those white pieces there, and then this gray plate is just going to come back, sit right behind it, but it doesn't attach to these other white pieces, but it sits flush against that white piece right there. All right. All right, looks like we're going to build some other portions of the ship right now to get that rounded angle. So we're going to put this down for the moment. All right, we'll just set this right over here. Kind of move that back. Okay, let's see. Let's get our pieces. So we need 3 of these. I'm guessing we should probably we'll gather all our parts and we'll probably make 2 different sides. So I'll just gather the parts for the next side at the same time. I like to do that. If for some reason I know that something's going to be mirrored and they're having me do one, I like to grab all the parts for the other side as well. That way I've just kind of got them prepared. I'm trying to think ahead a little bit to see what we're going to do next. And I'll keep them in separate piles so that way I can just grab and build from. See, we need 3 of the red 1 by 3s. So we're going to have 3 there, 3 there. And we need 2 of the 1 by 4 blacks. So we've got 2 in this pile and 2 in this pile. And then we're looking at the 2 by 4 whites, 2 by 4 white plates. So, and let's just do a double check. So we got 3 of the rounded blues, 1 rounded white or red. We've got the 3 1 by 3 reds, 2 1 by 4 blacks, and the 1 2 by 4 whites. So let's get started on that. It looks like the first thing that we're going to do is use the white piece. And we're going to use the red to create an L shape. And this L shape is going to point to the left if we were looking at it from with the tip of the L pointing back towards you. This red piece is going to point to your left. All right. And then we're going to use the black 1 by 4. We're going to place that right beneath there. All right. And then right on the other side, we're going to use the other red 1x3. So we've got that. And then we need to place this black 1x4 up here. So if we face it like this again, away from us, this black is on the left-hand side. So now what we need is we're going to use the red on the outside, or frontmost part when you're pointing it away from you. And followed by 3 blue pieces, the blue roundy so it looks like that when it's built. And see, that's why we're doing all these little accessory port pieces right here. Because we are going to use this as attach points to this piece right here. Which is really cool. Look at that. It rounds the ship out. I don't know if you can see how that looks. Make sure it's tight on there. This piece wants to fall out. I like it. I like how it rounds the ship out. It gives it. One thing that I really enjoy, and it seems like a lot of people are doing it now, especially with some of their mock builds, is the attachment to the side. Like, it seemed like a lot of times it's usually just built up. You know, there's no like lateral attachment unless you build it in normally. Whereas like pieces like this, I mean, it's just really cool. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to start with our white 1x4 or 2x4, and then put a red piece in, and then we're going to create the L, but this time this L will point to the right instead of the left, like the last one that we did. So if you face it away from you, you can see right here, it's pointing to the right. And then we're going to put our 1x4 black in, follow it up with a 1x3 red. Alright. So the next step is, let's see, it looks like if we point the white away from us, right? If we point the white away from us, then this black 1x4 goes on the left side. It makes sense. It's right on top of the other black 1x4. And then, once again, with the white gap facing away from us, we're going to start with the red towards us. See if I can get that. And then followed by our other 3 blue pieces. You see that there in page 26. Alright, and then, just like the last one, we're going to attach this one right there. So you can see it's really starting to get that shape. I like that. I like that. It's nice and smooth. It fits together really, really well. All right. So, page 27. It looks like it's having us. Well, they gave us the turn the model over symbol, but I'm guessing that's just for when they want us to fit that piece in, because it doesn't look like they're having us work on the underside of the model. So what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to set this boat onto the side there while we build up our next section. Okay, so we're start with our 4x4 gray plate. We're going to gather all our pieces again real quick. So we have 2 1x2 yellow pieces. We use 2 1x4 black, and then these 2 red pieces that look like they have accessory ports on them. So we're going to start with our gray piece upside down. Alright, gray piece upside down, and then we're going to attach 2 black 1x4s on either side of that. You can see that one's not even snapped in. Didn't quite get it. Okay. Now we're going to use one of the yellows for that little gap right there. Alright, and they give us the turnover symbol. So we're turning over, and we're attaching the red pieces to the outside. And basically like on the either side of this yellow piece, so that we've got something to give us a little direction. So they're parallel to the little black 1x2s. Alright, so they give us like 3 steps per page now to get this little section done. So we're going to gather our pieces again. We've got a 2x2 red, just need one of those, and a 1x2 with the accessory port. Alright, and then we will slap those in real quick before we go on to the next piece, which are like smaller pieces. So we have the red, and then we've got this white piece in here. Alright. So we need to grab some other little pieces here. Get our little knolling section, mini knoll. Okay, so looks like we're going to need 2 of the gray studs. We're going to need 4 of these blue slopes. Okay, 4 blue slopes. And 2 red slopes. Okay. So the gray studs go up front here. Gray studs are going to go up front on either side of that white block. Alright, and then from there we are going to put 2 blue slopes next to it with the sloping going down. And then the red one. So it should look like that. We got gray, 2 blue slopes, 1 red slope, and obviously we're going to do the same thing over here. So the blue slopes by the gray, sloping down, and the red slope. Looks just like that. Okay. So now that's done. Oh, I see what's going on. This is actually going to be the front of the boat, which is why we used those accessory port pieces earlier, because this is building the front. Alright, so page 30. Let's gather our pieces once again. We need 2 of the red slopes, and then we're going to use 2 of the 1x3 or 2x3 blue slopes, 2 of the yellow 1x2s, 1 red 2x1 slope, and 6 of these 1 blue slopes, which is pretty much all the rest of them. Alright. And let's see where we're going with this next stage. Okay, so the red is going to continue on right here. Right? So red slopes, red slopes. Alright, these blue pieces are going to attach right here. So this continues that blue sloping. Alright, we're going to do the same thing right here. Alright, the 2 yellow pieces stack right in here. So that brings that slope flush, but then we're going to add that slope to it. But we are not done. You know, we have 6 more blue slopes, and we just happen to have 6 studs. So naturally, we are going to fill those up and finish off the front of the boat. And get those in there. Having trouble getting them aligned though. They're not looking quite. Not quite as straight as I want to. Alright. There we go. Twist them a little bit. So that's what it should look like when it's done. Alright. So now what we're doing, as you can see, the front accessory ports that they had us install earlier are what are going to attach to these two black vertical pieces right here. So we're just going to pop that in right there, like so. And look at that. That's really cool. So it gives us that smooth shape of the ship. It really helps bring design together. Okay, so now we're going to use our last dark blue pieces here. We've got the, I don't know, I was thinking of these for ships, obviously, but spaceships, not just nautical ships. So we've got this like kind of flared plate, and then we've got these other plates here. So it looks like the first flared plate is going to sit right up front, right there. And then these are going to attach to the sides, right behind it to the other white mount point. Right there. So that kind of just creates a nice flat layer across the top there. Alright, next we're going to take a black 2x4 and then two of these textured white, you know, the ones that I showed you earlier that were gray, that have both the vertical stripes on one side and the horizontal stripes on the other. This time it looks like we're going to put the black one right here all the way to the back and not pull that off while we're doing it. Let's see if we can get it right in there. Alright, so that's flush with the back of the white. And then we're going to do the vertical stripes out of the white bricks and put that right in front of the black one there. So it looks like that. It's like we're getting started on the compartment where our captain would be. I like that. It's got like a little under deck area. That little under deck area. You could totally put a little minifigure in there. You could be sitting down, make a little galley, a little chef. Alright. So for the next step, we are going to use our regular flat white 1x2s, two sloping 1x2s. So this is page 34, step 34. The white pieces are going to go right next to the right 1x2s are going right next to this black brick. And then the slopes right behind those. Alright, next we are going to get our grates out. We got two gray grates and then the gray flat with a stud in it. So right before the white textured white textured pieces, we're going to put our gray 2x2 flat, and then our grates are going to kind of point forward. Right? Grates are pointing forward on either side of that piece. Okay. Page 36, we're going to gather our pieces. So we got two white rounds, partially round, we're going to have our last two yellow pieces. So these are going to, actually we'll start with our yellow pieces first. So the 2x3 is going to bridge this gap right here between the white and black brick. Alright? And then we've got this 4 is just going to come right back here. Pop to that. Make sure we've got our bricks in tight. So these ones, the rounded piece is going to face backwards now. So we've got just like that. We have a rounded piece facing back. And our other side here, get our left side done. Alright. And now we're going to use 2 1x4 and this black sloping piece. So the black sloping piece fits on that yellow 2x4 that we just put in. And then in front of that, we are going to attach a 1x4 white across the yellow and white areas. And then in front of that, we're going to leave one gap and then attach that one right there. So yeah, it's coming together. Alright, so now we need one red light and one green light. So we can mark the appropriate sides of the ship and let people know. Along with 2 of our 1x2 black pieces. So the 1x2 black pieces are going to be right up front here, like so. And then we are going to put the red light on the left and the green light on the right. Okay. That way we're clearly marked for safe travel. Next, we're going to be using these interesting little half box pieces. And we need 2 of those. And we need 2 of the little like claw accessory holders. And we're going to put the claws back towards the black slope that we had. Alright, and these partial box pieces are going to fit over the black 1x2s and the lights that we put in earlier. Just like this. Alright. Give you an idea what it looks like. Page 40. Looks like we're going to attach some gray smoke slopes. So these are going to form the windows onto these white accessory holders. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have the slope facing down, like so. We need 2 of those. Of course, they tend to fall when you put them down because they're top heavy now. Alright, let's get that. And then these are going to fit right here. Alright. Now we're going to take our step 41, or sorry, is that step 41, page 41. We're going to take this white piece, this white flat 4x4, and attach that right over top. And then it looks like we have these 2 gray cones are going to come to the top there, onto the black slope there. This is looking really cool. Alright, and it looks like we're going to put some accessories on top of this piece right here. We have another gray cone, which is going to go on the left side. And in front of that, skipping one stud, we have our red light. And then of course on the opposite side, the right side, we have a green light. And then we have this little claw hook that faces up. That's right across from our little cone piece. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we have the binoculars that I was showing you earlier. And, oh, alright. I've never seen this before, but it looks like if we look over here, you have to check this out. There is a little, let's see if I can get a little closer. It's probably, there's actually a little area, a little recessed round portion right in there. So this actually fits on top of the cone like that. I did not know that they had made them that way. That's pretty cool. So I'm guessing that's kind of like the air horn. That way when they're trying to get people's attention, so that way they can be safe. And then we're going to use this black, or not black, this white rather. This white flat. This white flat is going to attach right here to this hook. And that, to me, looks like a little radar dish. That's my guess. Alright. Okay, looks like we are getting started on building the arm for the back. So we'll take our boat and we'll just kind of set it aside for a moment. And then move our remainder of our red pieces over. Okay, so what do we have here? We're getting down to the last little bit. I'll just kind of put everybody together, since we don't have much to pick from. Okay, so page 44, step 44, we have this friction pin piece with a jointed section is going into, see the friction pin with a joint section there. Friction pin is connected to this gray piece. Alright. And then obviously the jointed section of our black piece there is going to clip into this dark gray, so that way we can give us a little bit of articulation at different angles. Alright, then on the bottom of that we're looking for the red 1x3, which attaches like so, leaving one stud out. On the other side of that stud, we will be using one of these little pieces. It's like 2x with a little friction pin joint in there. So continuing on, we're on page 45. We are going to put a red 1x4 flat over top of that whole arm section. Let's see if we can get it to snap in. There we go. So it looks like that. And we have a black friction pin. So let's take a look and see what we have. It shows that this is going to be pointing to the left, then this friction pin goes into the right. And then attaching to that is going to be another one of these. Just same piece that we're using over here on this side, but now just rotate it over to here. So you can see this is, we've got a couple different points, like this is gonna bend down like so. And then we've got this little piece piece that's gonna also bend. All right. So that's all the way up to step 49. So continuing on, step 50 on page 46, we have another red 1x3 that's going to attach to the bottom of that new piece we just added. All right. And then, remember the gray ball joint holder that we had earlier? We're going to attach that. And we're going to socket that hook into that ball joint holder. All right. So that way we can pick up our little exploration sub. And then a red 1x4 flat goes on top of that. All right. So look at that. We've got our arm. All right. So in our ship, you remember we had that little plus, right, in the back. So that is where this piece is going to attach to. You can see that it's got the exact same axle piece. And we'll just plug that in right there. All right. So then it can fold up. Let's see, which way is it supposed to go? I believe. So it shows like the hook kind of on top. See, it doesn't seem like it fold that way with like it fold with the flats out. So maybe like that. All right. Now we're just going to put on some finishing touches to the ship. Now we've got our hook in place. So we've got these little, not sure what they look. They almost look like the little life preserver discs that they throw out. So we're going to attach those to these mounting points on the outside here. We've got both sides. Alright, and then we've got two antennae to add. And those antennae are going to attach to these white clips that we added in earlier. So we've got this white clip here. And this white clip on the other side, that's by our radar. So there we go, those are installed. Now we're going to flip it over, page 50, and it's have us install some flat red disc pieces. Not really flat, they're kind of semi-domed disc pieces. So this will kind of keep it up and off the table a little bit, kind of make it feel like it's floating. Alright, so there's one in the way back. There's two that kind of complete across these gaps. And then there's going to be one up front here that crosses the gap of two different, or actually of three different pieces. This piece, and this piece. It kind of brings them all together. So now it wants us to flip it on over. And finally, what we're going to do is we are going to attach our little sub, exploration RAV, little exploration vehicle, right to the back. That's kind of cool. I like it. And then when it's not in use, we can just, looks like it stores right in here. Wonder if they made it to clip in there, or it doesn't look like it's. I think it's just supposed to sit between these two flat pieces there, and then we can close our little hook section up, just like that. Just kind of collapses down. This looks like a vehicle that Jacques Cousteau would use. So maybe if there were a a Lego seaman, he would be Brick Cousteau, and he could explore the ocean and find all of the hidden mysteries, new animals, not buried treasure, but abandoned ships. It's really amazing. There are, like, you wouldn't believe it, there are a ton of abandoned vehicles in the sea. Like, even in, like, the Great Lakes, there's still a bunch of different shipwrecks. So, having vehicles like this would be handy. Unmanned vehicles where you could sit in the safety of the ship and send it down, and then use these little robot arms to remotely grab things and make sure maybe the area is safe for divers. But yeah, all in all, I think it's a pretty cool build. I really like the shape of it. It's got that nice rounded bow there, and I think the drone is really a cool piece. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm really excited about building the actual other, like, deep sea sub. So in a future build, we'll go over that. But this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and please come build with us in the future.